This is the Watchman giving a clarion call. Ladies and gentlemen, I am compelling myself, forcing myself to make a clarion call at this very moment because minutes ago, something has unfolded that literally no one could have seen happening just 5 days ago. And that is the forces of the U.S. military have started to strike Syria with Tomahawk missiles. Over 4 dozen Tomahawk missiles. The word is that they were firing at a Syrian airfield, trying to, allegedly take out, Assad's air forces, and in the process, may have started a huge, huge conflagration, a huge war. This is infuriating. Okay, just 4 days ago, on April 2nd, the Trump administration spelled out before the world that Assad was no longer on the agenda, that we were not going to remove Assad, that was up to the Syrian people to remove Assad, that he was a necessary, quote, necessary evil in Syria, which I don't even agree with. I don't agree that he's an evil at all. But he laid down the stake that we were not going to go after Assad because that is not America first. That is Israel first. That is Saudi Arabia first. That is Qatar first. That is globalism first. That is not nationalism or standing up for our interests in the U.S. first. And just 24 to 48 hours later, we got what appears to be a huge false flag where unknown persons allegedly unleashed toxic substances. First, the MSM called it deadly nerve gas, sarin gas, and then 7 hours later, they were calling it chlorine gas because the narrative was falling apart. Suddenly, overnight, after this absolutely transparent false flag, Trump comes out and says that quote, too many red lines were crossed for me, that I'm thinking about taking action on Syria. I've spoken to Congress in private about taking military action on Syria, and now with his whole base, alt-right, alt-light, conservatives, most conservatives, libertarians, across the board, people are saying, no, we do not want regime change. We do not want bombardment. We do not want to take out Assad. We don't want nation building. We don't want a new war. No more wars for Israel. No more wars for these Zionists. No more wars to destroy countless lives of poor people while banksters in smoke-filled rooms move pieces around on the map like a chessboard. No more of any of that. Well, just when you thought that that might start carrying some weight, no. Within 4 days of his saying Assad can stay, he is literally bombing a foreign country. He's literally dropping 50 bombs on Assad's air force. Now, remember, this isn't just about Assad. This is about Assad plus a huge sovereign regional power, maybe superpower, geopolitical superpower, Russia. Russia and Assad have stopped the banks, have stopped the globalists, have stopped the terrorists, the real terrorists, over the Potomac River in Washington, D.C. for the last 8 years of Obama's warmongering and trying to come in the Middle East in a big way. Russia has stopped them time and again. This time, Russia may not be able to stop them with words, stop them with countermeasures or counter sanctions, or it may come down to a shooting match. In fact, the word is that Russia shot down some of the Tomahawks that were going and landing, going to land on the airfield. This is incredibly frustrating, infuriating. This pisses me off. All right, I'm really this is a, I am a truth teller and I am a truth seeker, as are all of you who listen to me. But one thing I am not is a cheerleader. One thing I am not is someone who will back any decision made by somebody because they are a force of personality or a cult of personality. I have been the first person out there to praise Trump when he's done good things, and he's done plenty of good things. Okay, he stopped TPP. Okay, he's brought back lots of companies, lots of jobs. He has started, strictly enforcing the border in deportations. He started that stuff, but this is a betrayal. He just 4 years ago was screaming at Obama after another false flag attempt during the Labor Day weekend of 2013. He was screaming at Obama not to get involved in Syria. I'm going to read you 4 of the tweets that he made that very day. This is Donald Trump on Twitter. We should not attack Syria, but if they make the stupid move to do so, that they, meaning the U.S., the Arab League, whose members are laughing at us, should pay. Another tweet. The only reason President Obama wants to attack Syria is to save face over his very dumb red line statement, do not attack Syria, fix USA. Another quote. President Obama, do not attack Syria. There is no upside and tremendous downside. Save your powder for another and more important day. And yet again, to our very foolish leader, do not attack Syria. If you do, many very bad things will happen, and from that fight, the U.S. gets nothing. I sure do miss the Donald Trump of 2013 in regards to foreign policy. Screw that. I sure do miss the Donald Trump of 5 days ago. I've been thinking about this a lot over the last couple of hours, and I think something has happened. I think there has been an internal power struggle around the throne, and I think the right side has been losing that struggle. We get news over the last several days that Bannon threatened to quit, threatened to step aside, was taken off the council. Others said, well, he was always supposed to do that. Maybe, maybe not. I don't think that his stepping down, McMaster stepping in to fill his place, who is a neocon general that Bill Kristol, Jewish neocon Bill Kristol, can't stop singing the praises of McMaster. I don't think that this is coincidence. I don't think that we're seeing people move in where Bannon has left a vacuum, like McMaster and Jared Kushner, his son-in-law, his Zionist Jewish son-in-law. I do not think that this scramble of power is unrelated to the events of the last 4 days in Syria. I think they are connected, and I think it's possible threats could have been made to Trump, or it's possible that they cut him a deal. Hey, do a quick strike, get in, get out, and we'll back all your agenda and not give you a big problem. These people are like Grima Wormtongue, in the Lord of the Rings. They are constantly speaking, whispering poisons into the ear of the king, and with the king usually thinking, well, there's no harm in taking one taste. You take that taste, and you are sickened, you are depleted, and you can be finished. It's very possible tonight we saw Trump and the Republican Party lose the midterms of 2018 and lose in 2020. All for what? All for what? We are bombing the regime of a man who has not used chemical weapons. His chemical weapons were audited 4 years ago by an independent international tribunal. He showed them all their weapons to their satisfaction and then disposed of all those weapons to their satisfaction. He does not have chemical weapons. You know who does have chemical weapons? Many chemical and toxic substances have been supplied to many of these rogue factions, these, Nusra Front, Al-Qaeda these people that we've been supplying arms and munitions to for the last 10 years, they are chock full of it, and we're just sitting on it, waiting for the go, waiting for the signal that the gaslighting was ready, that the op was ready, that they were ready to front run and pressure the president into a war so fast that no one had time to raise up a counter action to it. That's why they had to attack fast. You remember the voices when Obama tried were so overwhelming. The right and the left and the center and people on Mars. Nobody wanted to strike Syria 4 years ago. It was so overwhelming. For the first time in U.S. history, the public rose up and stopped a war before it happened. Never been seen before. And that is why they had to strike now, because the narrative is already falling apart. They are already showing pictures of people treating bodies of supposed victims, cleaning up these toxic substances without gloves, in bare feet. They're showing pictures of quote-unquote victims who were shown, suffering in one picture and laughing in the next. This is a complete lie, and it could have just started the next huge war unless it is de-escalated immediately. And it has just snatched victory, it has snatched defeat from victory's jaws. We should have had, not just the Supreme Court. We should have had, higher numbers of America First people elected in the next 18 months. We should have had, more senators, more congressmen. We should have had, the White House wrapped up again. And now, with this one stupid attack, all that could be gone. Who knows? Who knows how many Syrian lives were lost tonight who never did anything but fight ISIS, the people we hate, fighting for their life against ISIS. Who knows how many of them we killed? But even more than that, think of the agenda. Think of what will be pushed now. If Trump is so easily swayed by one way or another into this ill-advised assault, it may mean that he's utterly compromised now. Okay, it may mean that they've got enough hooks in him to where they can steer his hand forcefully in policies that are deadly, dangerous, utterly detrimental for us, and helpful to our enemies. Now, it may be too early to say some of this stuff, and I hope I'm wrong about this. I hope I'm wrong. But I couldn't believe, if you told me 5 days ago, yeah, Trump will be striking Assad's bases tonight with Tomahawk missiles, I would have said, well, you're an idiot. You have no idea what you're talking about. And here we are. It behooves all of us, to hold people accountable, no matter who they are, and not be cheerleaders. When they do something great, fine. When they do something like this and betray us, this is a betrayal. They must not just simply be held to account, they must pay. Someone's got to pay for this. We must hold them accountable. Brothers, I'm going to be making more videos in the days ahead based on intelligence and more data and info as it comes in. But this is not good. That we may have just lost the entire good parts of the Trump agenda. His whole presidency may have just gone down in flames. We did not, if we wanted another Middle Eastern war for greater Israel and for the Jewish lobbyists, hell, I would have voted for Marco Rubio. I would have voted for Jeb. I'd have voted for old Jeb Bush. We voted for the guy who roasted those men alive, who didn't run as a conservative, who ran as a reactionary, as a populist, as a nationalist, who is now in grave danger of dumping all of that out the window in just 11 weeks. Is that depressing? Yes, it is. But it's where we are, and we have to be honest about where we are. So let's stay abreast of the situation. Let's keep each other's spirits up, and let's keep speaking truth to power, even if that power is somebody that we totally supported 5 days ago. It doesn't matter who it is. You have to speak the truth, and you can't stop doing it. So let's do that. Let's speak the truth. Let's do it with courage, and let's hopefully stop this from spinning out of control. And let's keep taking the fight to them. All right. This is the Wealth Watchman sign off. All right. Stay vigilant and bring the fight to them.